This video is going to be talking about a slightly different kind of elasticity measure. We're going to be talking about the income elasticity of demand. The thing to remember about, regardless of which particular elasticity measure we're talking about, there's price elasticity of demand, price elasticity of supply. We're going to talk about the income elasticity of demand. There's also cross-price elasticity of demand. All these elasticity measures follow a very similar pattern. So as you're looking at watching these videos, as you're studying, you want to watch the patterns, okay? And then in particular, note the particular differences between or among the different measures, okay? So let's get started. Income elasticity of demand. In general, this measure is talking about percentage change in quantity demanded by the percentage change in income. So the key thing to remember, beyond just what the ratio is what's the kind of behavioral idea underlying it? What's the economics? So the fact that the change in income is in the denominator, that's saying this is what's driving the change in the quantity demanded. If you change your income, that will change the quantity demanded. Now, a thing you want to keep in mind is that when we talked about the price elasticity of demand, all that's changing is the price, and that's driving a change in the quantity demanded. If you recall from your studies, that's just describing a movement along the demand curve, because the movement along the demand curve is simply talking about if there's a change in price, there's a change in quantity seen on the same demand curve. Now, if you recall your shifters of demand, income is one of those shifters. So when we talk about the income elasticity of demand, we're talking about a shifter situation rather than a movement along. Still, percentage change in income generates a percentage change in the quantity demanded. Graphically, you'd see that shift in the demand and a subsequent change in the demand as a result. Okay, so we've got the basic idea of what the income elasticity of demand is. So what we're going to do is we're going to work from this basic table. In this table we have weekly income, number of steak dinners consumed, and number of spaghetti dinners consumed. So when someone has a weekly income of $750, during that week they will consume 3 steak dinners and 3 spaghetti dinners. If that person's income weekly income rose up to $1,100, they would consume 4 steak dinners during the week and 2 spaghetti dinners during the week. So what you'll notice is that when the income increases, the number of steak dinners consumed increases, and the number of spaghetti dinners decreases. So underline that, and you can think about this outside of the video. What does that mean in terms of the relationship between steaks and spaghetti? Is it a substitute? Is it a complement? Inferior goods, luxury goods? Good things to think about and apply other principles. But we're going to just kind of look at this, we're going to measure the income elasticity of demand for spaghetti dinner. So we're only looking at spaghetti dinner, so we're looking at $750 and 3 spaghetti dinners, $1,100 of weekly income, and 2. So to calculate that elasticity measure, we're going to use another ARC elasticity measure, in this case ARC income elasticity of demand. So with those ARC measures, like we saw in the price elasticity of demand, we're talking about a difference divided by an average, difference divided by an average. So in the numerator, we're talking about percentage change in quantity demanded. So the second quantity demanded minus the first one divided by the average of those 2 quantities. And then the denominator, we're measuring or estimating the percentage change in income. So we'll look at the second income minus the first income divided by the average income. Okay, so let's go through the calculation. So we're going to start with the quantities of spaghetti. So we're going to go the second quantity demanded of spaghetti, in that second income is 2, minus the first, which was 3, divided by the average of the 2. So this is our estimate of the percentage change in quantity demanded, divided by, so now we're looking at the incomes here. So the second income was $1,100 minus $750 divided by the average income. So the sum of those two divided by 2. And that gives us that denominator measure, percentage change in income. And if you do the calculation, it comes out to negative 0.06. Again, you know it should be negative because increase in income, decrease in quantity demanded, so you have a negative relationship. And we want to interpret this value. So again, we'll put it over 1. And remembering this ratio, if your income increases by 1%, we would expect to see the quantity demanded for spaghetti dinners decrease by 1.06%. So it's a negative value. The more income you have, the less spaghetti dinners you get, so you don't want to eat those low-value foods. If you did a similar calculation, you'd see that when the income increases, your steak dinners increases, so your calculation would show a positive value.